The 2023 NASCAR schedules have all been officially released. We're going to go ahead and talk about it today. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. Today, like I mentioned, we're taking a look at all three series of the NASCAR schedules, the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series, because they're all going to be released at the same time today. Let's take a look at those schedules. So, let's begin with the Cup Series schedule. Starting off on the 5th of February will be the clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum. We'll be returning to the LA Memorial Coliseum on the 5th. After that, on the 16th of February, which is the Thursday, we'll have the duels at Daytona. Cup qualifying will take place the day before on the 15th of February, and then Thursday, February 16th, is going to be the duels at Daytona to set the main field for the event. Then, of course, the first race of the regular season, which has already been confirmed, will be on February 19th, Sunday, for the Daytona 500 as the opening race. It's been the opening race now for many, many years, really since the early 1980s. It will be the opening race once again. After that, on Sunday, February 26th, we'll be racing at Auto Club Speedway. This will also be the last time we'll be racing on the 2-mile track, as in 2024, they will be converting it to the half-mile track. This will be the second race of the season. After Auto Club Speedway, on March 5th, we'll be racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This had already been confirmed by the racetrack, but this will be the third race of the season once again, and Las Vegas once again will host 2 days on the 5th of March. After that, on Sunday, March 12th, we'll be racing at Phoenix Raceway. This will be the first of 2 times we'll be racing at Phoenix Raceway and the final race of the West Coast Swing. After Phoenix Raceway, on Sunday, March the 19th, we'll be racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Atlanta will also be hosting 2 dates once again in the 2022 calendar. This will be the spring race. This will be the 500-mile race. After Atlanta Motor Speedway on Sunday, March 19th, on the 26th of March, on Sunday, we'll be back at Circuit of the Americas. With NASCAR moving over to North Wilkesboro, they've had some talk about Texas Motor Speedway maybe hosting 2 dates. Texas is only going to host 1 day, and that other date is going to go once again to Circuit of the Americas. There have been a lot of talk that they were going to have CUTA maybe off the schedule, but there also been talk they were going to have it back on the schedule. CUTA will once again be back on the schedule. After Sunday, March 26th, on April the 2nd, we'll be racing at Richmond Raceway. Richmond, once again, pretty much on the same weekend like it was last year, so there's no changes here. And Richmond will have 2 dates again. It had been rumored that maybe Richmond was going to end up losing a date, or Kansas was going to lose a date, but Richmond will continue to have 2 dates. After Richmond, we've got Bristol being moved up a week early on Sunday, April the 9th. The main reason for that is this is going to be a Sunday night race because this is going to be taking place on Easter. Tradition of the Easter race after the really good ratings from the Easter race last time we were here at Bristol Dirt earlier this year. They're back at Bristol Dirt on Easter once again. So that means that Martinsville, which was on this week, is being moved to April 16th, and it's going to be a Sunday race instead of a Saturday night race. Multiple reasons why it's happening. Number one, I think with how bad the race was with the Next Gen car the last time we were here, it was really, really bad with the colder temperatures, and I think they want better temperatures. But also the TV ratings were absolutely horrendous. So that's why they're moving it to April 16th. Right after Martinsville, on April 23rd, we'll be at Talladega Super Speedway. No changes here. Talladega will continue to host 2 dates in 2023. That will be next. After Talladega, on Sunday, April the 30th, we'll be racing at Dover. And once again, just like for the last couple of years, it will be the only race that takes place at Dover International Speedway. After Dover Speedway, we'll be racing on May 7th at Kansas Speedway. No changes here. There have been some rumors and rumblings, though, that they were potentially going to end up losing a date. There's no changes here. It will take place on May 7th. After the May 7th race, on the 14th of May for Sunday, we'll be racing at Darlington for the throwback race. No changes here. Once again, being the throwback race. This will be on Mother's Day weekend once again as well, and will be the throwback race unless they change it to the Southern 500. And then after that, of course, on May 21st, we'll be racing at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. This race has already had a lot of attention toward it. There's a lot of controversy with how they kind of handle the ticket stuff, getting in there, the prepaid tickets and all that. But the All-Star race will be hosted at North Wilkesboro for the first time in the first Cup Series race, technically, at the track since 1996. I think that's going to be extremely exciting. We already talked about how big this is for the track, and it's really, really exciting. And then, of course, after North Wilkesboro, on May 28th, Sunday, we'll be racing at Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 as a traditional Coca-Cola 600 weekend. Really looking forward to that. And next, on June 4th, Sunday, we'll be racing at Worldwide Technology Raceway. To me, in my opinion, I would have loved to see Worldwide Technology Raceway be a Saturday night race, but with how good the ratings were for the race earlier this year, I'm not surprised, but really happy to see that Worldwide Technology Raceway is back on the schedule once again. I'm going to hopefully try to make it out there once again this year. Really excited to see that. Then on Sunday, June 11th, we'll be racing at Sonoma Raceway. Not a surprise there. Sonoma has been after Worldwide Technology Raceway earlier this year, so Sonoma will remain on the schedule there. After that, we'll have a 1-week break, and this is going to be the only off week on the schedule. We'll be racing at National Superspeedway on Sunday, June the 25th, which is the same weekend. So we're back at National Superspeedway. And then after that, on Sunday, July the 2nd, we'll be racing at the Chicago Street Course. Excited to see the Chicago Street Course is going to be added to the schedule, which I'm not sure how the racing is going to be, but Chicago Street Course will be on the schedule. After that, on Sunday, July the 9th, we'll be racing at Atlanta Superspeedway, just like earlier this year. This one, though, will be the 400-mile race. After Atlanta, on July the 16th, we'll be once again racing at New Hampshire, expecting a lot of excitement around that. Then after New Hampshire, on Sunday, July 23rd, we'll be racing at Pocono Raceway for the only time on the season, and this will be a 400-mile race as expected. After that, Richmond Raceway is getting moved up a week earlier, and it's going to a couple weeks earlier, and it's going to take place on July the 30th. It's moving a couple weekends earlier for Richmond. It'll be in late July on a Sunday. This should be a Saturday night race, in my opinion, but it is what it is. After that, on August the 6th on Sunday, we'll be back at Michigan Raceway for the only time in the season. After that, on Sunday, August 13th, we got a change happening to the schedule because the Indianapolis road course is moving 2 weeks back, a couple weekends back, and will take place on the 13th of August on the Sunday. So this would be the third to last race of the regular season for the Cup Series. It's moving back a couple weeks later. After that, on August 20th for Sunday, we'll be racing at Watkins Glen. No changes here. This is the second last race in this past season. It will be once again. And then finally, the final race of the regular season will take place at Daytona as a cutoff race on a Saturday night, and the first of only 2 races that is taking place on a Saturday night. So, let's now get into the playoffs. Playoffs are basically the same. Sunday, September 3rd, Southern 500, they'll kick off the round of 16. After that, on September 6th, 10th, we'll be racing at Kansas Speedway. And then finally, on September 16th, we'll be racing at Bristol for the Bristol night race. That will be the final race of the round of 16 and the last Saturday night race. Then after that, for Sunday, September 24th, Texas will kick off the round of 12. And like I mentioned, the only Texas race on the schedule. After that, Sunday, October 1st, we'll be racing at Talladega Superspeedway. And then finally, on October 8th, we'll be racing at the Roval. Then on the round of 8, you've got Las Vegas once again kicking off on the 15th. Then on Sunday, October 22nd, we'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway. And then Martinsville will be on October 29th. And then finally, Phoenix is going to wrap up the championship. So first, before we go to the Xfinity and Truck schedules, what are my thoughts on the Cup schedule? Honestly, I like a lot of things on the schedule. Of course, I'm very excited for North Wilkesboro. I'm very intrigued by the Chicago Street Course race. Not sure if I'm a big fan of that or not, but I'm very intrigued by that race. And I'm glad that a lot of tracks are kind of keeping their dates and staying around on the schedule. I also am kind of happy that Texas only has one date this time around because they lost the All-Star race. It seems like their contract is really no longer a thing at this particular point, so they're only going to have one date. And then, of course, Indianapolis Road Course move back. I do hope they do long-term decide to go ahead and move the Indy Road Course over to being back on the Oval in 2024. I know there's been some conversations about that. I know that Roger Penske said that a few weeks ago when we were at the Indy Road Course. He talked about maybe moving it back, but that's there. And then, of course, some of the other changes, of course, with the playoffs, nothing changing there. I like that. I like that they're kind of keeping it simplistic, and I think there's a lot of good things in regards to Cup. Not many changes, but a lot of great things. So now let's jump into the NASCAR Xfinity Series schedule. So the kickoff for the Xfinity Series schedule will be on Saturday, February 18th at Daytona National Speedway, like traditionalized. Then on Saturday, February 25th, we'll be racing out of club for the final Xfinity Series race on the 2-mile track. No changes there. Then on March 4th, Saturday, we'll be at Las Vegas. Again, no changes there for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Then after that, on March 11th, we'll once again be at Phoenix International Raceway for the first of 2 races. Then after that, on Saturday, March 18th, we'll be racing Atlanta Super Speedway. And then after that, on the 25th of March, we'll be racing Circuit of the Americas. And all these races, except a couple, are going to be Saturday afternoon races. After that, on April 1st, Saturday, we'll be racing at Richmond Raceway. Followed by, we're actually going to have a 1 week off for the Xfinity Series. And then on April 15th, we'll be racing at Martinsville Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And unfortunately, it looks, well, it's actually going to be 2 Xfinity Series races at Martinsville this year, so that's really, really exciting. And then on April 22nd, Saturday, we'll be racing at Talladega Superspeedway. That I'm really excited about. Talladega for Xfinity always puts on a really good show, so that take place there. Then after that, on the 29th of April, we'll be racing at Dover International Speedway for the Xfinity Series. Followed by we're going to have a 2-week off break, and then on May 12th, we'll be racing at Darlington Raceway for the Throwback Weekend. Followed by on the 27th, 2 weeks later, because we have another off week, we'll be racing at Charlotte Speedway for the race on a Saturday, traditional race they have on Saturday. And then after that, on Saturday, June 3rd, once again, we're going to be back at Portland Raceway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. While I know the race was really, really wet, and there was a lot of controversy around it, I'm definitely really, really excited to see that Portland's back on the schedule. I hope we don't have rain this time around, because rain had been a factor for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but it's good to see that Portland is going to be back. And then the next week after, for the first time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series history, we're going to be racing at Sonoma Raceway. That's right. There's going to be a triple header weekend. Trucks and in the Xfinity Series will both be racing at Sonoma on the same weekend. Really excited about that. Then we're going to have a 1-week off break, and then on June 24th, we'll be racing at Nashville Superspeedway. And then after that, on July 1st, the Xfinity Series, there have been a lot of talks, conversation, and unclear if they were going to be racing at Chicago Street Course or not. Well, the Xfinity Series is actually going to be racing on the Chicago Street Course the same day as that IMSA race is going to end up taking place. Very intrigued to see how Xfinity is going to race. I think it's going to be worse than Cup, to be honest. I don't think the racing is going to be great because it's a street course. Street course races generally do not produce the best racing, and I'm not really excited for that. Then on Saturday, July the 8th, we'll be racing at Atlanta Superspeedway once again. Then we'll have another race on July 15th at New Hampshire the next week after. Then after New Hampshire, on July 22nd, we'll be racing at Pocono Raceway. And then on July 29th, while the Cup Series is not going to be returning to Road America, the Xfinity Series is going to keep their tradition and keep racing at Road America. Very happy to say that Road America is going to continue on being on the Xfinity Series schedule. At least Road America is not completely gone. It's good to see the bridges have not been burned there. Xfinity at Road America is probably going to be really, really exciting. I think Xfinity puts on a better show at Road America than the Cup Series does. So really excited that Road America is going to continue being on the Xfinity Series schedule. After that, on August 5th, I should say, we'll be racing in Michigan for the Xfinity Series, and then the next week after, we'll be on the Indy Road Course once again. Then after that, on August 19th, we'll be racing at Watkins Glen. Then a week after that, on August 25th, on a Friday night, this is actually going to be the first Friday night race on the schedule. We will be racing at Daytona International Speedway. Then on Saturday, September 2nd, we'll be racing at Darlington, maybe for the Throwback Weekend, probably not though. And then the final race of the regular season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series will take place on September 9th at Kansas Speedway. This is getting pushed back a week earlier. As for this year, Bristol is the cutoff race. Now Kansas is getting up a week early, and that'll be the final race of the regular season. So now, let's take a look at the Xfinity Series playoffs. So Bristol, unlike this pit year, Bristol's actually going to kick off the round of 12 for the Xfinity Series on September the 15th on a Friday night. Then on September 23rd on Saturday, we'll be racing at Texas Motor Speedway for the only time. And then the final race of the round of 12 will be at the Charlotte Roval on October the 7th as the final race of that round. Then we get into the round of 8. So there's really no changes with the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series. Las Vegas will be taking place on October the 14th. Then Homestead Miami Speedway on October the 21st. And then the final race of the round of 8 will take place at Martinsville. And then finally on Saturday, November 4th, we'll crown a champion for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I can't wait for that. So what are my thoughts on the Xfinity Series schedule? Overall, there's some really good changes with the Xfinity Series schedule. Very excited for that Sonoma race. I cannot wait for that to be on the schedule. I also love the fact that Bristol's kicking off the playoffs with the Xfinity Series. It kind of compacts the Xfinity Series a little bit. There's going to be a little bit more, I think, of a little bit of break in the Xfinity Series. It's not going to be 7 straight weeks. They'll have a week to kind of get rest. And also, I think the schedule, there's a little bit more compacted together. And also, of course, being a Sonoma, Chicago Street Course will be interesting, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. And then Xfinity Series staying on the schedule with Road America. I think that's something that is extremely exciting, and I cannot wait for that. Portland staying on the schedule. Can't wait for that. I think there's a few negatives, of course, like maybe said the Chicago Street Course, but really or not, I think Xfinity does overall have a pretty good schedule, in my honest opinion. So now, let's finally take a look at the Camp World Truck Series schedule, and there are a lot of changes on this year's Camp World Truck Series schedule. A lot of good, and some bad on the Truck Series schedule. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So beginning with the Truck Series schedule. On February 17th, which will be a Friday night Truck Series race, that'll take place at Daytona National Speedway to kick off. There will be a 1-week off break for the Camping World Truck Series, and then on March 3rd, we'll be racing in Las Vegas for the second race of the season. After Las Vegas, on March 18th, another 2-week break, we'll be racing on a Saturday at Atlanta Motor Speedway. After Atlanta Motor Speedway, the next week, we'll be racing at Circuit of the Americas. COTA returns to the Camping World Truck Series schedule for the third time in a row. After COTA, on Saturday, April 1st, the Truck Series is going to be racing at Texas Motor Speedway in the spring. That's right, it looks like there's going to be a double Texas race, which Texas, of course, not be taking place, which for the Cup Series and Xfinity Series will be racing at Richmond. Trucks will be moving over to race at Texas Motor Speedway. After that, the next week on April the 18th, we'll be racing at Bristol Dirt for the Truck Series tradition at Bristol Dirt. But there's only going to be one truck race on dirt next year, as the Truck Series will not be returning to Knoxville in 2023. After that, the next week on Friday night on April 14th, we'll be racing at Martinsville Speedway for a Friday night Truck Series race. Really excited about that. Then after that, on May 6th, we'll be racing at Kansas Speedway for the only time in the one of two times on the Truck Series calendar. Then after that, on Friday night, May the 12th, we'll be racing at Darlington Raceway, most likely for the throwback race. But then the next weekend after, on Saturday, May the 20th, we're going to have our first points-paying NASCAR race at North Wilkesboro since 1996, because North Wilkesboro is going to host the Truck Series. That's right, North Wilkesboro for the first time since 96 on the truck schedule. It's back on the truck schedule along with the All-Star race happening. NASCAR not giving a word on what other series are going to be racing, but North Wilkesboro is back on the schedule. Then after that, on Friday, May the 26th, we'll be racing at Charlotte Speedway for traditional race at Charlotte. Nothing changes there. Then on Saturday, June the 3rd, we'll be racing at Worldwide Technology Raceway, most likely in the afternoon. I wish IndyCar was kind of around during that weekend, but Worldwide Technology Raceway will happen on June 23rd. Then, 3 weeks later, we'll be racing at Nashville Super Speedway because there's actually not going to be a race at Sonoma. I thought there would be a Truck Series race at Sonoma. There's not going to be a truck race at Sonoma. Xfinity is going to replace that. So there's going to be a 3-week break, essentially, and Nashville will happen on Friday night. Then after that, there's going to be another 2-week break, and we'll be back at Mid-Ohio. Excited to see trucks back in Mid-Ohio. Of course, Park Kligerman ended up winning there. Good to see Mid-Ohio back. Then we'll have a 2-week break, and they'll be racing at Pocono Raceway on July the 22nd. And then the final race of the regular season will take place on July 29th at Richmond Raceway. Instead of it basically being in the playoffs, it will now be before the playoffs. My opinion is Richmond was not very good for the Truck Series the last time we were here, so I'm not really expecting much here. And I think it's really going to be, unfortunately, a struggle bus race. So now, let's get into the Truck Series playoffs. And here's some good news for those who are truck fans. The Truck Series playoffs this year, compared to last year, is a little more compacted. It's not as spread as it was last year, and races are a little bit closer together. So, the round of 10 for the Truck Series, unless they decide to expand it to round of 12. Here's the round of 10. So, the first race will take place on August 11th at IRP, just like this year. IRP will kick off the Truck Series schedule. Then after that, on August 27th, 2 weeks later, we're going to be racing at the Milwaukee Mile. That's right, for the first time since 2009, so almost 15 years since the last time we raced there, the Truck Series is back at the Milwaukee Mile. This has been a track that I've wanted to be back in NASCAR for a very, very long time, and I'm very pleased to say that that track is coming back to the Truck Series schedule. May have to try and make a trip out there. We're just going to have to wait and see. And then the final race of the round of 10 will take place at Kansas Speedway, very similar to this year. We'll be racing at Kansas there for that round. And now we get into the round of 8. So the round of 8 is very similar to this year. Thursday, September 14th, we'll be at Bristol Motor Speedway for a Thursday night race, which will be tomorrow night when you guys are watching this. Then on Saturday, September 30th, we'll be at Talladega, so a 2-week break. And then finally, for the round of 8, the last race there on October 21st, which will be about a 3 to 4 week break, which is still a major issue there, will take place at Homestead Miami Speedway. And then the final race of the season will take place at Phoenix. So, thoughts on the Truck Series schedule. The major positives, because there's some good positives with the truck schedule. Them being back in Mid-Ohio is really exciting. Them going North Wilkesboro as a points-paying race is really exciting. Them not going to Sonoma is kind of a little bit of a down, but them only having one Texas race is a positive. Them basically saying Dakota's great. Going back to Milwaukee's exciting. The negatives for trucks. Like I mentioned, Sonoma not being on the Truck Series schedule. That's a major disappointment. And to me, the other big disappointment is near the end. There still is a little bit too much of a gap near the end. The playoffs are a little more compacted, but still near the end, there's a little bit too much of a gap. I really wish that there was a way they can kind of close that gap just a little more for the Truck Series because they put too many races in the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, they do struggle. But I will say at least it's like the last 12 or 13 races and not like the last 15 races of the regular season like for Cup, like it was for the Truck Series. So at least the playoffs are starting a little bit later and closer to where they did in 2020. So those are all the schedules. Overall, I'm very excited for 2023. This has been one of the most anticipated things that we've really been waiting on here for the last 2 weeks. I'm really excited for that for sure, and I cannot wait for the gate schedules. And I'm excited for 2023. I'm hoping to be at some races. I would definitely for sure love to be at the North Wilkesboro weekend. I'm hoping to be at Worldwide Technology Raceway for sure. And I might have to try to be back at some other races going forward. My goal is to be at a few Cup Series races, some Xfinity, and some Truck Series races next year. Do maybe some coverage at the track. I would definitely love to be there for sure to cover some races. Not many changes for Cup, some changes for Xfinity, and definitely a lot of changes for trucks. Some good things, some bad things, but the 2023 schedules are officially out. I cannot wait for 2023 as we're getting close, and we got the round of 16 cutoff race for Cup. We've got the truck race tomorrow night to kick off the round of 8. Cannot wait for those playoffs to start. So, those are the 2023 NASCAR schedules. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Link description below for that. You comment with your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about the 2023 NASCAR schedules? Are you fans of those 2023 schedules or not? Let me know in the comments below. Tomorrow on my channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video. We've got a lot of NASCAR news to cover, and we're going to recap a lot of NASCAR news. Then also later that evening, I'm hopefully going to have the Truck Series view from Bristol. Then on Friday, I am going to have another video around Kyle Busch and seeing how he's going to perform. Saturday will be the Cup Series race review. And then Sunday, I will have potentially a driver lineup predictions for the 2023 season. And then a lot of other content on the way as well, as there's a lot of content on the way for you guys the rest of this week. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.